Regularly scheduled meeting in some time to order. Mr. Patterson, would you lead the invocation, please, sir?
Let's pray. Good Lord Heavenly Father, we just thank you, first of all, for the blessings of life, for being with us today, for giving us health, Lord. And only you know the things going on with the pandemic, and still feel like that Fannin County has been blessed by you, Lord. Thank you so much for that. Just be with us, open our minds to what we need to do and how we need to handle it. Give us wisdom here as commissioners, Lord, and ask that you would just be with each and every one here today. Thank you, and we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, it's good to get back to something that's semi-regular. I'm hoping as things go on, we'll be able to get back to completely normal. There will be an item we needed to add, and this is my fault for not recognizing that the first meeting in June, on June the 9th, is the same day as election. So we'll have that added as an item right before executive session request after Ms. Newton. And commissioners will decide on whether to cancel, reschedule, whatever you want to do on that. First item, number 2, is approve the minutes of the May 12th, 2020 teleconference Board of Commissioner meeting. Please let me know when you've read that and okay to move forward.
I've read the minutes and I have no objections.
Commissioner Patterson?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. I ask for a motion that we approve the minutes.
Make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Minutes are approved. Okay, public commentary. If there's anyone here that would like to speak, please raise your hand to be recognized and come forward to the blue line. Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Please tell us who you are and where you live in Fannin County. Not the exact address, but just.
My name is Donna Thompson. I'm new, moved here to the Mountain Highway area here in Blue Ridge.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I wanted to thank you. I wanted to comment on the proposed city annexation. I know that that's a hot topic again, and first of all, I know that you have a difficult job. It's not easy trying to make everybody happy. Sometimes that's impossible. I get that. Please know that we appreciate the job that you've been elected to do. I support your decision to oppose the annexation when you did, especially since you stated that you had no prior knowledge to that. I think that was a very wise decision on behalf of the county. As a new resident here in Blue Ridge, we moved here to get away from unrestrained, uncontrolled growth. We saw firsthand how uncontrolled growth could really destroy a community, destroy a whole county, and in a very short period of time. I've read quite a lot about the development that concerns me. This is a community that is strongly focused on tourism. I understand tourism. I understand how it generates revenue. However, there are 2 concerns that are never mentioned. The first one is infrastructure and services. And while I realize that much of the responsibility for that falls on the city, we still have an impact in the county because the county roads lead to city roads, and we all have to work together. When you talk about 2 developments that are highly dense, like they're talking about up on Highway 5, As far as residential goes, highly dense and residential, a large retail square footage, business facility, entertainment venue, wedding venue, and a hotel, how's that going to be handled from the perspective of things like transportation, traffic control, accident response, general safety monitoring, etc.? And these things do impact the county. How will these developments and any future developments that might be planned impact current residents? The second that is quality of life. I've never heard that mentioned, but we all deserve a good quality of life. It's why many of us moved here. Especially for the full-time residents, quality of life is important. They're often overlooked when it comes to development. Development that's not managed by a county can quickly become problematic for existing citizens who moved here for the good quality of life that affords much less density and less traffic. I moved from the metro Atlanta area, and I get tickled when people say our traffic's like 285. It's like, no, not anywhere near that, but it is increasing. Developers are now looking to increase their gross revenues, and they're very clear about stating that as much as they can. Understand, I'm not against a person making money. I think we all should have that ability, but not at the expense of other people. When you have developers think that they state that they think upscale housing is needed with homes in the $500,000 to $800,000 range, you're catering to a more exclusive group, and where does that leave our residents? Tourists bring revenue, but they take from our community for a short time and then they leave. Our residents are the ones making an investment in the community as they volunteer to pack backpacks for children, to walk dogs at the shelter, to host at the art center, things like that. What about our jobs? What about our quality of life? That should demand good jobs.
Go ahead, David.
Go ahead.
I hope we can count on you to represent all citizens, not just the developers who tell you how much revenue boost you'll receive, but the everyday citizens who live here and care about the quality of life. We don't want to see this beautiful county turned into another crowded area like a Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, where people use our community, take from our community, and have absolutely no investment in the community other than their brief enjoyment. So we're depending on you, each of you, to make the right decisions for all of us, and not just the developers. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? We'll close public commentary. Okay, under new business, first item, number 3, Ms. Hoppers from the County Extension Office, please come forward.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Hi there.
It's a pleasure to be in front of you again. It's been a while since I introduced myself to this community last fall. I don't want to take up too much of your time this evening. I know that this is our first meeting, so I don't want to take too much of the spotlight, but I'm here because I have a lot to report. I think everyone in this room, in our county, in our state, each has a story on how COVID-19 has affected them personally, family-wise, business-wise, and I'll have to say that I've never experienced anything like this as an extension agent before. All of a sudden, we're very popular. Lots of folks interested in gardening and reaching out to us. Maybe it's because folks were stuck at home and had more time, but I'm very proud to report to you that despite being closed to the public, we, I believe, have really answered the call and been there for our constituents. I've helped people close on homes during this whole process. Water sampling is one of the most important services we provide testing-wise. We're actually the leading county in the state. All 159 counties, Fannin County does the most water testing. And many folks were able to close on homes during this time, even though we were closed. We worked with them. One of our innovations to continue reaching out to the public and providing testing services was through a drop box we made, which was essentially a plastic tub with a sign on it stating, you know, your kit's in here, please drop off, coordinate with me personally, and we'll make sure you get what you need, so we can make sure those essential services are still being provided. I also continue to do site visits with our local growers. Research is still going on. I know last year I started doing research with powdery mildew resistance in vineyards and Pierce's disease, which is one of the leading reasons why we can't grow European grape cultivars in the southeast. So that research is still going on. Needless to say, we were still chugging along and doing what we could behind closed doors. Extension is a very hands-on organization, and we're used to being able to do educational programming face-to-face with the people we serve. So that's been a challenge, although I do have just a short little report for y'all to peruse at your convenience. We were being asked by our university supervisors to make it work. So instead of being able to teach face-to-face like we like, we took to online platforms, and I wanted to let you all know that again, we were very popular, getting lots of calls about gardening. Folks were turning to their backyards as venues for fruit and vegetable production. I decided to create an 8-session webinar series on different fruit commodities that could be grown in Georgia, but anywhere in the southeast really. And I want to let you know that we have an average of 300 participants per session. We've done 4 already. The 5th is tomorrow on apples and pears. And due to the incredible connectivity of online sharing, we actually reached international participants last week. We had folks from Italy tuning in to this seminar. So I just want to let you know that big things are happening in this county, and I think we're reaching a lot of people locally and much further than we ever thought we could. So I just included a few things that we've been up to this month in that packet, and I want to let you know that we're continuing to work and looking forward to, at some point, having that face-to-face connection again. Something that's on the horizon that I hope our local teachers take advantage of, and I've notified Mr. Roof. I'm part of the state school garden team for University of Georgia, and we have collaborated with the University of North Georgia on a school garden teacher training. So anyone who works with educational gardens, community gardens, it's targeted towards teachers, of course, but it's free, just like this online series is. So it's really great professional development from the experts, and I hope that some of our local teachers take advantage of that training. But other than that, we're rocking and rolling.
Commissioner Patterson, do you have any questions, sir?
Actually, I just wanted to say that I appreciate all you've done and being willing to adapt to certain conditions beyond your control. And I think you're doing a wonderful job, and I'm just really very pleased with how you reach out to others, and you've got a lot of things going, probably more than you even anticipated, correct?
Yeah, and it's one of the joys of being on the county level is, our programming is reflective of the needs of the community. And so it might have gotten off to a somewhat slow start because more folks recognize I'm here, more folks are calling, and the Master Gardeners, I can't say enough good things about them. I love having them as our volunteers. We had a fabulous interview out at Mineral Springs Park about the wonderful things that are going on there. So a lot's happening.
You got popular very quickly. And there's a lot of people that love their gardens this time of year.
That's true.
Thank you again.
Mr. Johnson?
Doing a good job. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Anything about the memorandum of understanding that we have here before us about between the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension and Fannin County?
Well, the last one, according to the records that I could find in our office, was from 2009.
Okay.
And so this is statewide. All 4 extension districts have asked local county offices to reach out to their commissioners to just renew. And I'm happy to answer any questions on anything in there. But essentially, we'd like to keep working together, and we hope that y'all do as well.
I really have no questions on this. You just need us to vote and approve it?
Yes, sir.
Sign it? Okay. All right, Commissioners, I'll make a motion that we approve this memorandum of understanding. I'll make the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous. We'll sign it for you right now.
Fabulous, thank
Good
you.
job.
Did you need both copies signed or just one?
One copy is for you, and one is for us.
Ashley, since while we're copying, You do work with the people at the high school, the new building?
Oh, yeah, I can't believe I didn't mention the high school and the young farmers. Yes, Rhonda Matthews was the first person to give me a call and welcome me up here and said, when can we start working together? And we have been, actually, my first program I did was collaborative with the Young Farmers Association at the Ag Center. We did a pond management training back in November, and we were able to get a bunch of folks pesticide credits for their licenses, and we have another program scheduled for this Thursday on building a pollinator prairie. So that's an online initiative. So we're continuing to work together and looking forward to more opportunities for collaboration.
Good deal.
No cotton courses yet?
No cotton, but you can call me if you've got
Yeah,
questions.
his dead end on that. That's too much trouble.
It was probably one of the more creative calls that I've gotten in North Georgia, so I'll give you that.
We'll have this in the office tomorrow. Ms. Walker will need to do a little processing on it, so if you can make that long commute across the road from your office to ours.
I think I can muster it.
All right, we'll handle it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate it. Okay, item number 5, Ms. Newton.
Oh, what, already?
Ready for you?
Something else. Let's see, this is, actually an amended copy of that letter that I gave to you a couple of weeks ago, because I found something in it that I wasn't able to do like I thought I did. But what I'm coming to y'all for, and in case I need to introduce myself, I'm reading it. I think y'all know me, but I don't know if everybody else knows me does. But I'm acting tax commissioner, and first of the year I'll be serving as tax commissioner if everything else done. But what I'm here for today is to ask you if possible to move some money from a former employee that retired to my current staff. And so I've outlined that, and I do appreciate all y'all do. And it's just a letter to bring awareness to that. And as you can see, the money is not a whole lot of money. She was a part-time employee, and I've chosen not to replace her at this time. I'm just going to pull it together and work at front, help the girls up there, and do my duties as serving as tax commissioner and help them too. And so she was a part-time employee, and had she gone on to work the full year, there's a balance of about 39 weeks that she would have been employed, and that's about $9,500. And so to move that to my current staff and myself is around $9,900. So we're not asking for any new money or anything that wasn't already in the budget. I think we've been very conservative with some money. I was able to do plexiglass in front of our windows at a cost of around $1,100 instead of glass around $6,000. And we're very satisfied with that. We feel like we're safe and saved a lot of money in that area. And also, Ms. Sosby had some money in the budget for a part-time employee at $15,000, and she returned that to the county instead of using it. And that is really all I'm here for, is to appeal to y'all. I don't think my office has ever had a raise in between, what we get each year. And it's not a lot of money, really. It's, it's money that we can get. So that I've made a list of, I've designated my employees now as job positions, and I would consider that I've given them employees a promotion, and I've outlined that along with the money, and you can take a look at that. And we've got a wonderful staff. We're just doing
Mr. Patterson, you have any questions on this, sir?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
So you're essentially taking one employee's remaining salary and what was left of the tax commissioner and combining that to give these raises? Or?
Yes, it's not the tax commissioner's money, it's a part-time employee that is no longer in my office. And so it really has nothing to do with the tax commissioner's pay. It only has to do with.
I was just wondering, because it said available for payroll to the tax commissioner.
Yes, it would have been available for the payroll budget.
Oh, okay.
Just in the payroll budget for the tax commissioner's office, not exactly to her. But it was already appropriated in the budget for the former employee's pay, had she stayed. So that's the money that I'm using, is the balance of her. So she's been gone 39 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I mean, had she stayed employed, there would have been about 39 weeks of permanent leave that is not, we're not going to use, we're not going to have to pay her for. So that's where I'm getting that former employee, Ms. Kelly's remaining salary that
Okay, all right.
we didn't, we won't be using that for her. So we're going to ask to move that money to the rest of the staff for the year. And then, later in the year, toward first of the year, we'll just look at hiring some.
Now, were you saying one of the employees was getting a promotion? Was that?
Well, all of them, I've listed them, and so, that was my justification for hoping that you consider the raises also.
Okay. Well, I will give you my feedback on this, and then we can vote on this. I really feel like this is a real bad time to be asking for raises. If you take it at the state level right now, they're down in Atlanta trying to figure out how to handle a 14% reduction, 14% cut in the budget, which is about $3.5 million, eliminating 1,000 jobs, and tens of thousands of state employees are getting their salaries cut. The salary for the tax commissioner, which I'm sure in a few months you'll certainly be that, that's established by the state. So that would be handled that way when it does. The state is cutting the funding from kindergarten to 12, K through 12, $1.5 billion. The health department is going to deal with cuts. And locally, although I don't think it's quite fully decided, but the recommendation was to close our DFAX office and consolidate and move down to Gilmer County. And there's some folks over just across the street there that are really considering whether they're going to have jobs or not. So for me personally, I can't support this request at this time. Now, the other commissioners certainly they have the right to vote, do what they want to do, and we'll follow through with that process. We can vote on that tonight if you fellows feel like you need a little more time and table this till the next meeting. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide what to do. I've stated my position, so let the majority rule on this. And again, this is just love you to death. Think you're a great person. Everybody down there does a great job. It's just the revenue. I'll tell you a little more about that. our hotel motel taxes, which is a big revenue for the county and the chamber. We were rolling right along through the end of February, and March, the end of March, it dropped off. April was a disaster. Right now, year to date through April, we're dealing with a 25% reduction in revenue from hotel motel tax.
I can certainly understand
Yeah.
that, and it will come back, as we know it will
Well,
come back.
we hope so.
Yeah.
And total revenue for the county through the end of, let's see, was that February or March? We were
Down.
through March, actually, we were up 3% in revenue compared to where we were expected to be. In 1 month, we gone from plus 3% to minus 3% in revenue. Thank goodness our expenses are down overall. They're down about 4% on their budget, so that's kind of offset it. But those are some things that reality is going to hit Fannin County. We can't exclude this.
I completely understand
Yeah.
that. If it were asking for money that wasn't already there,
Sure.
I could understand. But the money isn't having to come from anywhere new.
Right.
It is already
Right.
there, and it was already there.
It's, when it goes into a line item for salaries, that's going to be there from now on. If it's another item, that's something we vote on
So
up or
this
down
is
each year. The
still
salaries are there, you don't just go
salary,
back.
it's still
unless you do an overall
money.
cut.
It's
But,
still where it's at,
yeah.
so I'm not asking
Yeah,
for me.
Right.
It's already, so.
Commissioner Patterson, I'm going to let you and Commissioner Johnson
Okay.
comment further.
Do you understand the rationale, you know, that Mr. Helton's talked about, you know, you know, everybody's kind of hurting now, and we don't know where this pandemic's going. And you may need that in another area, you know, later on down the road. I know you're just new and trying to get your feelings, but it is kind of different with salaries, and probably any other time it would be a little different. But I would kind of rather go along with that rationale at this time.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Commissioner Johnson, did you have anything further to say?
I mean, you know, it's, the monies that were, so would your office be looking at hiring a new person next year? So then that would essentially mean the salaries next year would be up, whatever you hired that person at, it would be up $10,000 or?
Well, it would be.
Because I understand what you're saying, this money's already there.
Right.
But if
Right.
we release that money, then next year it's there, then we gotta hire another person. And-
Well,
and-
I mean, at that point, I would have to basically be replacing my current position.
So that money is not taken out of this. So would that person that took your position still be at the $23 an hour deal, or?
No. They probably wouldn't come in at that rate. I mean, I really couldn't hire somebody.
Yeah, and I can't say who's worth what in your office, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I never come in your office, so.
Your wife does.
Yeah, my wife does. So, I don't know who does what. I just think you know, they all may be worth 2 times this amount. I just think
I'm sure they are.
the time right now is, I was hoping we were gonna save the $10,000. So I was hoping we were gonna not, I didn't know, I mean, like one person would get a $3 raise.
Well, she came in making way under what anybody can
Really?
work in my office anyway, and she's been a phenomenal employee.
Yeah, and it's hard for me because I've got 20-something employees.
And
None of them make what's on this whole paper, so, I mean, some of my employees make more than that, so it's kind of hard to, you know, I think right now, be a real rough time to be giving raises right now. Because I know, I couldn't be giving any of mine any raises right now. And I'm not looking at trying to compare it to myself, you know what I'm saying? I can't compare it to myself because it's county dollars, it's everyone's dollars.
Yeah,
I mean, I was just at odds with the two of you last week over $10,000 for prisoners. So, I mean, or not last week, whenever it was, like week before last. I think I would love for everyone, and I think at that time I was trying to be very clear about it. I hope we can find ways to save money and not spending anymore. That goes for every department, because I don't think we have the money. Me personally, I think we're already going to have a big shortfall next year, and anything that this board does to add to that will be very counterproductive. So, like I said, I can't say who's worth what in there. I would like to know that hopefully that everyone can kind of hold the line until we see the other side of this mess, because it's a big mess what we're in right now. And I don't think we have some projected numbers, you know, of losses, but those numbers could be even higher than that. So I at this time, I don't see how anyone, or how we can spend any dollar past what we're at right now. I just think it would be, if these raises, if I vote to authorize these raises, every county employee here is gonna be wondering, you know, what in the world, and I can't afford to do that, to be a part of that.
It won't be that long, really just a few months till we start talking about the budget for next year. I mean, we'll know a lot better where we stand financially. We'll be able to make better decisions at that time. And what I might ask you to do now, instead of us voting, with this information and feedback, would you just like to rescind your request and we don't even vote on it? Or, I mean,
Well, you know, I understand, really I do, all of that. We're all willing to work harder to keep from having to get a new employee right now, since the former part-time employee left.
okay.
So I don't know what kind of benefits she had at that point, but maybe none, I don't know. You know, it's just that I'm not asking you to spend money that wasn't already allocated
Okay.
for that anyway. I would ask that, if you can't approve all of them, if you could take a look at my least paid employee and do
Okay.
something about that one. That's a different subject. To get her in one line, to do something for her, but we can.
Okay. I don't think that's unreasonable, I mean, to look at, but what I would like is,
I can make a separate request.
if you would,
and
just
send
on
that
the
to
one
you.
employee that you feel like is underpaid. Again, I'm willing to look at it. Me personally, I think a lot of people are thankful right now that they've got jobs, period. So, you know, I'll certainly be willing to look at it. I'm not gonna tell you that I would have a different view. So, without us voting on it, do you wanna leave it that way, and I'll leave it up to you. We'll vote, or just, you can, back away from this with the caveat of presenting here, for our next meeting, the information on the one employee, so we can make a specific decision on that. Is that okay with you, or how do you want to do that, sir? I mean, that looks a lot better than us standing up here all, you know, voting against you. We're not voting against you. We're trying to be very prudent with the county's money right now.
And Ms. Newton, it's very commendable on your part to, you know, value your employees in that way. And I think they're very fortunate to have you as an advocate and to work with, because it is a commendable thing that you're requesting. It really is. I think the timing is just a little off with everything else surrounding us at this time.
Okay.
That's all I have.
But we appreciate you coming in, and talking to us.
Or you could just go out, since if the money's there, you know, if it's gonna be that much of a hardship on everybody else, I'd go out and find somebody. I mean, if everyone's gonna take that much, if it's gonna be that much extra work on everyone, you know. I mean, I don't know how much work the person done, but,
All right. Thank you, Ms. Steve. Gentlemen, do we need executive session?
No, I don't need it. We need to look at the election. We had one.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
How about skip by on that?
Right.
Thank you, Commissioner Patterson. So we have a regular scheduled meeting on Tuesday night, June the 9th, which will be impossible with the election going on. We can make a decision to cancel it, move it, or we could even, we do have a teleconference meeting next Monday. If you wanted to table that decision till then, I'm pretty flexible on whatever you gentlemen want to do. Commissioner Johnson?
I mean, I feel like if we're gonna have a teleconference meeting, we should just cancel the meeting altogether, get all our business done on the teleconference meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
All right. That'd just be Monday, so anything between, I mean, the teleconference would be, for the insurance would be
Right.
next Monday.
Right.
So-
So if something comes up in between, I mean, either way, the election
Right.
precedes anything else, so.
Okay. All right, so then in effect, we would be canceling the meeting on the 9th, but we actually, in a way, we'd be moving the meeting to the 1st.
Right,
Really?
right.
Move it from, we would move the meeting instead of the regular
Yeah,
scheduled meeting on the
yeah, I'm
9th.
fine with that.
We just
I
move it to
just
the
don't have
first.
to have, you know,
Yeah.
if we want to have one Monday, just have one the week after.
Yeah.
Unless there's something important that comes up.
Right. We can always do a special call meeting until we have the regular scheduled meeting the second week in June. Sounds kind of confusing, doesn't it? Okay, we'll do it, we'll just do a teleconference, June the 1st, next Monday, 4 o'clock. And then any pertinent business that we have at that time, we'll just move with that as well.
I'm good
We're
with that.
good with that? Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay. All right, I make a motion for adjournment. Do I hear a second?
You'll make a motion to move it.
Sir?
You'll make a motion to move it.
Do we need to make a motion to move the meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll ask for a motion to move it then to June 1st.
Make a motion to move it June 1st.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Okay. Now, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion.
Second.
First, second, all in favor? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you folks for coming.